Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. My name is Suresh Venkat. I have the honor and privilege of being your MC for tonight's ceremony. Now, after 2 years of conducting this show virtually, it is rather nice to be here. So please take a moment, acknowledge the person on your right and left. We all survived 3 years of lockdown, COVID, vaccine, wave 2, wave 3, Delta, Omicron, and we're all here. So just take a moment to acknowledge the person sitting next to you. Before we begin, a few quick instructions. Please keep your phones on silent. If you wish to post on social media, you're most welcome to post. Please try and use the hashtag ETPWLA. That's ETPrime Women Leadership Award. Now, according to an EY report, 95% of Nifty 500 companies do have a woman director on board. Good news, right? But less than 5% of those companies have a woman chairperson. Not so good news, right? The IMF says that if India were to reach gender parity vis-a-vis women's participation in the workforce, it could boost India's GDP by 27%. If 50% of Indian women joined the workforce, that would add 1.5% to our growth rate. So as you can see, there's no doubt about it, the era of women-led development, women-led transformation, and most importantly, women-led disruption is upon us. Indian women are all set to usher in a social, political, and economic transformation. The ETPrime Women Leadership Awards 2023 is India's most prestigious award conferred upon trailblazing women leaders who exemplify the spirit of excellence and innovation and are creating positive lasting changes to redefine and shatter the glass ceiling for women. With Accord India as knowledge partner, the latest edition of ETPrime Women Leadership Award 2023 initiative is powered by Peak 15 partners Spark and has a Crete Executive Search as our associate partner. Hero MotoCorp is our mobility partner. Gale and Siemens are our bronze partners. The fourth edition of the ETPWLA 23 saw a record-breaking number of over 5,000 applications, from which 76 nominee profiles have been shortlisted across 15 categories. Before we go any further, we'd like to offer our sincere thanks to our stellar jury. Jury chairperson, Naina Lal Kidwai, members of the jury, Shanti Ekambaram, Devina Mehra, Amit Chandra, Karthik Reddy, Dr. Professor Vikram Singh, Puneet Gupt, Abha Singh, and Vaishali Nigam Sinha. Thank you, jurors. With that, may I now invite Shishir Prasad, editor ETPrime, to say a few words. Shishir, can we have you on stage?
Thank you, Suresh, and I hope to peak at the right moment. The stars are aligned because the weather has taken a turn for the better, and this is the right season to actually realize how beautiful Parel can be. I mean, when it's not raining, really. On the occasion of 4th ETPrime Women Leadership Awards, I'm delighted to welcome this august audience, esteemed jury, and senior officials at Times Internet, and my dear colleagues, especially those who have been burning the midnight oil for the last few months over this. In fact, the office walls are going to be full of soot because of that. There's a special feeling of joy to have your company at this special occasion. We've had to wait to do this for for almost an eternity, if 3 years counts as such. And it is as good a time to take a look at the road that we have traveled. This is the 4th edition, and I cannot help but reminisce when we started. In 2000, when we launched the awards, we knew that we were onto something special. I mean, but the on-the-ground realities sometimes forced us to think otherwise. You know, on that awards sort of jury meeting, we had made a dossier which seemed like the perfectly researched book, and then it came to one particular category. And the jury literally threw the book at us. I mean, figuratively, actually, not literally. No journalists were harmed in that act. When the jury looked at one particular category, they just said, not enough good nominees. And so what the first reaction was, let's just scan the whole category. But the jury actually got into the act. They activated their own networks and made sure that we had a very good shortlist from which to choose from. Now, I could not help but think that if the process of creating the shortlist was so difficult, how difficult it would have been for the contenders to create a repertoire of work that lasts for a long enough time to be considered for leadership positions and also to be considered worthy enough for raising capital from the venture capitalists.
That's okay. Thank you, Ken.
Oh.
Let us take it over. Okay, I'm Konkana.
And I'm Isha, and welcome to all of you. We can make this difficult journey worthwhile by recognizing those who have been able to stay the course. That really was the central idea behind the creation of ETPrime Women Leadership Awards.
I feel an immense sense of pride in letting you know that the awards are bigger than ever before. This year, more than 5,000 nominations across categories we have received. This is almost double the number of nominations we have had in 2019. When we started, there were 16 award categories. In an effort to cast the excellence net wider, this year we have added a few new ones. These are DEI Ally of the Year, Women Pioneer Award, Women in Governance and Civil Services, essentially IS, IRS, etc. Women in services that include armed forces, police forces, and air force. We hope that with these additions, the awards now straddle the private sector and public services.
The way we see it, these awards represent more than just a celebration. They are a beacon. They showcase the role models and the importance of whom we cannot overstate. Before May 6, 1954, no runner had covered the distance of a mile in less than 4 minutes. On that day, Dr. Roger Bannister ran the distance in less than 4 minutes. And within 2.5 years, there were 10 other runners that ran the same mile under 4 minutes and emulated Bannister. Same way, on May 29th, 1953, Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay stood at the top of Everest for the first time in history. That opened a floodgate. Since then, more than 3,500 humans have climbed Mount Everest. As a pioneering platform, ETPrime Leadership Awards promises to do the same. We hope that the examples of Ms. Indra Nooyi, Ms. Anu Aga, Ms. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, Ms. Geeta Gopinath, Ms. Naina Lal Kidwai light up the ambitions of many women executives. Their journeys will show how this difficult corporate terrain can be negotiated.
That said, let us start with the sequence of recognition and revelry.
We now hand you back to your wonderful host for the evening, Suresh Venkat.
Okay, Suresh, bring on the night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shishir, Isha, and Konkana. Now, up next, we have a fantastic woman who chose to march to the beat of a different drum, in her case, quite literally. Pandita Anuradha Pal is India's first female tabla maestro. She trained under tabla guru Ustad Allah Rakha and has been performing since the age of 9. She has performed over 5,000 times across 30 countries and received over 108 awards for talent and skill. She's known for her interactive showcases and dynamic cross-cultural collaborations with jazz, African, Latin, flamenco, Western classical, and choral music. Ladies and gentlemen, we at the Economic Times are honored to have with us tabla innovator, composer, multi-percussionist, and trailblazing woman, Pandita Anuradha Pal. Anuradha ji, can we have you on stage? Welcome Tushar as well. Tushar, welcome to stage.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm grateful to the Economic Times for inviting me to start off the evening on a big bang, I hope. This is a great event honoring women leaders who have excelled and achieved impossible heights. So I'm just going to play a short tribute. I just have been given a little time, so I'm just going to come straight to the point and play a short tribute to the indomitable spirit of these wonderful women achievers, the award winners, and others who have contributed in this beautiful journey of life, of excellence, of passion, of creativity. Thank you so much. This composition is called Devi, celebrating the spirit of Stri Shakti. Thank you. The struggle she faces, the harsh world, and this is her making her way through all that to achieve her goals. I'm sure you can see the story of her life unfolding in front of your eyes. All of you have gone through that struggle. All of you have achieved that success. So you can identify with this story of mine on the tabla. As she goes through life, sometimes she has to become the Durga. Sometimes she has to deal with the enemies in the way that she has to. And that's when she takes on a different form. Killing the demons within her, outside of her, to achieve her goal. Of peace. I'll end with a composition of mine which is called Mumbai Rain. A description about how the clouds gather. Some of you are from out of Mumbai, so to make you feel all at home in my city, in the rainy season, how the drops of rain come in, and then there's thunder, lightning, and then finally little drops, all leading to a downpour. The children come out, they start playing, and the fragrance of the earth coming alive. And then finally, all that, there's a big downpour, and the earth comes alive in joy. And then finally, the downpour leads to peace again, happiness. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank Tushar Raturi on the keyboards. And thank you to all of you for being a wonderful audience. I had a very short period of time to perform. I hope I stuck to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you once again, Anuradha ji, for that fantastic performance. Now, Anuradha ji's opening performance resonates strongly with the ETPrime Women Leadership Awards program's overall theme of celebrating trailblazing women leaders and pioneers. Let's take a look at the key highlights of this latest edition of the ETPrime Women Leadership Awards program.
Beyond. 4 members, 15 award categories, 76 nominees shortlisted from over 5,000 applications, 19 inspiring women achievers. ETPrime Women Leadership Awards 2023, honoring Business Leader of the Year, the CEO of the Year, Beyond Business Leader, Lifetime Achievement, Women Pioneer, Women in Services, Women in Governance, Global Indian of the Year, DEI Ally of the Year, Technology Leader, HR Leader, Sales Leader, Marketing Leader, Operations Leader, and Finance Leader. A salute to the best in business. Join us in honoring excellence and empowering women leadership. ETPrime Women Leadership Awards 2023, India's most prestigious awards celebrating outstanding women, championing leaders and achievers in business and beyond. 4 glorious editions, 9 distinguished jury members, 15 award categories, 76 nominees shortlisted from over 5,000 applications, 19 inspiring women achievers. ETPrime Women Leadership Awards 2023, honoring Business Leader of the Year, the CEO of the Year, Beyond Business Leader, Lifetime Achievement, Women Pioneer, Women in Services, Women in Governance, Global Indian of the Year, DEI Ally of the Year, Technology Leader, HR Leader, Sales Leader, Marketing Leader, Operations Leader, and Finance Leader. A salute to the best in business. Join us in honoring excellence and empowering women leadership.
All right then. There we go. Nominees, winners. We're going to meet all of them shortly. But before that, our next speaker is Shanti Ekambaram. Shanti is the whole-time director at Kotak Mahindra Bank. She's been associated with the Kotak Group for over 30 years and has been responsible for successfully setting up and running several business units. As whole-time director of Kotak Mahindra Bank, Shanti heads several functions including Kotak 811, Vigilance, Public Affairs, Human Resources, Marketing and Communications, Treasury, Environmental and Social Governance, and Corporate Social Responsibility. Shanti is also a member of the jury of the ETPrime Women Leadership Awards. She will deliver the inaugural address on behalf of the jury. Shanti, can we have you on stage?
Can you see me above the podium? I was a little worried, so I asked for a stool, but they've got it so tall that it'll make you taller than you,
That's no
Suresh.
problem. I don't mind.
So then, you know, so
I
I'd
don't mind.
rather...
I'm secure in my height. Don't worry about that.
Just in case. No, I think this is fine as long as you can see me. This is fine. Can you hear me? All right. So good evening, winners, those who are supporting the winners, and wonderful ladies and gentlemen. Delighted to be here amongst all of you, and I'd like to first start by thanking the Times Group and Economic Times for inviting me to be a part of such a collective group of talented and inspiring women. What a great start by Anuradha Pal, who gave us such a scintillating performance. And that's just the tip of the iceberg as far as power of a woman is concerned. So more power to her and to all of you. Just, to reiterate it again and again, I admire your achievement, your relentless passion, and your unstinted commitment, whether it's running a company, being in the social sector like running an NGO. Each one of you have demonstrated great passion, willpower, and persistence. To repeat, there were 5,000 entries, 78 shortlists, and ultimately, I think, 19 winners. I think many of you here may be part of the nominees. What is important is you're all here out of the 5,000 applications. So big round of applause for all of you. India is in the midst of a massive transformation, aspiring to become a global power and a fully developed nation, meeting the goals of self-reliance and self-sufficiency. Atmanirbhar. I'm sure you have heard the word many, many times. India is young. 65% of India is below the age of 30 years. I'm repeating, 65% of India. And that is really in our favor. The number of girls qualifying for the best institutions in the country, whether it's IITs, whether it's IIMs, whether it's some science colleges, is just amazing. And the number of women entrepreneurs are exploding. Our priorities have changed. Our body language has changed. And we are on a unified mission to succeed, and it's India's time in the next decade. So I'd like to start first by congratulating the media for playing a very catalytic role over here, especially when it comes to promoting inclusive development, gender diversity, and women empowerment. I was in a board meeting last month, and there was a discussion about affirmation of women. And I have always held the view that, you must choose a woman because she's competent. Why does she need affirmation? There's a very wise man who told me, in India, if we can, through affirmation, give a lift up to the very talented women who don't necessarily get recognized, it would be a great thing. And I changed my mind thereafter. Maybe women do need affirmation, but we are on the right path to really bring in the power. ETPrime Women Leaders Award, I think, is a very important move in recognizing and achieving women. Women are reasonably understated and talk less about themselves. They don't necessarily stand and shout from the podium or want to be acknowledged. So when somebody like ET announces awards and recognizes women, it really inspires a million other girls and women to say, I can do it too, and I can succeed. Women are overcoming many constraints that they have, familial, social, economic, to realize their dreams and contribute to this emerging India. Take the example of our own president, Srimati Draupadi Murmu, a school teacher from a hamlet in Orissa, and she's also the youngest president of India. Women find themselves excelling in many fields that they would not have thought before. Armed and defense forces, to start with, when I see Shivani here, I feel proud, right? Whether it's being a pilot, being an engineer, going to space, being an astronaut, there is just no area that is taboo for women. And of course, from winning Olympic goals in boxing, in wrestling, in badminton, there's just no area that women don't dominate. So it's very important that we recognize achievements and inspire more women to say, I can do it. Speaking of women entrepreneurs, I was very surprised to read a NASSCOM report which said 18% of the startups in India today are by women. That used to be a very small percentage, at least a decade ago. What more do you need to do to demonstrate what role a woman can play in economic development? Gandhiji believed that women as entrepreneurs and corporate leaders can have a stronger impact on the social fabric of India, which is very important. Suresh talked about the diversity in the boardroom of the 500 listed companies, that 98% of them have women directors. And of course, only 2% have chairpersons, so I'm hoping that we will see more. I wanted to take a minute about the jury process. It was so challenging that even the nominees that we received, each and every one deserved to be a winner. The interesting part was it was a wonderful jury, I think really good people, and highly interactive. We fought, we discussed, we Googled. Every time somebody say anything, thanks to Google today, you Google and say, no, you're not right, this is different. And as Suresh talked, there was one category where we did not like the nominees, and we ourselves went Googled, and every 2 minutes, furious on the chat, putting data about women. We had a wonderful time. It was one of the most interesting and energizing juries I have been, because we were dealing with women from so many different facets and so many fascinating information that was not necessarily there in the sheets that were coming out. Really enjoying and energizing. All I can say is you are the leaders of India, present and future. You are a part of the social fabric. By your success, each one of you will be spawning 1,000 more women who will want to succeed. So what I'd like to do is congratulate each and every one of the winners and each and every one of the nominees. It is important to participate and reach there. Not everybody will win, but you are a winner if you have reached the nomination. Would like to tell each one of you, go pursue your dream, your passion, and your purpose. There will always be challenges. Who says life doesn't have challenges? And there will be failures. My mantra has been, the road to success is littered with failures. If you think you will only succeed all the way, think again. But how you deal with those failures, how you get up, how you dust yourself, and get on with life on to succeed, is what success is all about. And I can tell you that it is extremely sweet. And each one of you are here at the pinnacle of success and more to come. So this evening, no more bhashan. Enjoy the evening, celebrate your success, clap for each one of you, and more power to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shanti. May I request you to stay on stage to give away the first set of awards. With that, we come to our first award of the evening, the Finance Leader of the Year. And take a look at the nominees. Jayashree Saragopan, President Corporate and CFO, Coromandel International Limited. Meenakshi Dagar, Chief Financial Officer, Lenovo India. Neetu Kashiramka, Executive Director and CFO, VIP Industries. Parminder Chopra, Finance Director, Power Finance Corporation. Shubhasri Sriram, Joint MD, Sriram Capital. Now, the jury decided that we have 2 winners in this category, so in no particular order, may I invite our first winner, Jayashree Saragopan, President, Corporate and CFO, Coromandel International. Jayashree, I have a question for you. Now, being a CFO is all about numbers. Other than numbers, what other skill sets should a CFO have?
Well, it's about numbers because the numbers tell the story. That's why probably CFOs are associated with numbers, but numbers just don't come in, right? So there's lots that we all have to do collaborating with the businesses, whether it's providing the right oversight, insight, foresight, looking within, outside, around, and helping and working together, strategizing beyond the horizon, looking at partnering on the vision for the company, at the same time supporting in achieving the operational objectives, driving growth agenda, transformational changes, being part of the team and collaborating is important. At the same time, developing a very strong functional team is equally the role of a CFO.
Congratulations, Jayashree. Shanti, I have a question for you. There are many industries represented in the room today. What can other industries learn from banking when it comes to women's leadership?
Firstly, give them an opportunity. I can talk about, Kotak. We have now almost 1 lakh people. And we, about 7-8 years ago, we just 10% diversity, and we said we have to reach 30. We reached 28%. But that's in 7-8 years. And then we scratched our head to say, how do you reach there? And the first and foremost challenge we found was, how do we get so many women to interview? It was a big challenge to find talented young girls, go to colleges, go to universities, post-graduation, and get them. So first is hire them. And then at every stage, I'd call it the 5-year stage, women go through a lot of challenges. And at every stage, you see a dropout. And you just have to see how you can support them thereafter. Second, make sure that if they believe they're not right in a role, rotate them and support them. For example, we recently had a lady who was living in Borivali and coming to Lower Parel. She was a branch manager. And she was quitting. She said, it's just impossible to travel so much in Mumbai. So I just asked my HR guys, what's wrong with you? Why can't you look at something in Borivali or Andheri as simple and logical as that? Oh, yeah. And we retained her. So support women, get more women in, invest in them, give them the opportunity, and you will see them shine and deliver. Women have high EQ, high integrity, can multitask, and are a wonderful contributor.
May I now invite our second winner in this category, Parminder Chopra, Finance Director, Power Finance Corporation, to receive an award. Parminder was also recently appointed with the additional charge of CMD of the Power Finance Corporation, making her the first woman to lead India's largest NBFC by net worth. Parminder, simple question for you. What does work-life balance mean to you?
I think being a woman, we daily live in work-life balance and experiencing. I can't see any one of these participants not experiencing the same.
Another question for you. As a CFO, you've made the ascent to take on the additional charge of chairperson and managing director. What's the one piece of advice you'd like to share with women who have similar aspirations, who want to go from CFO to CEO?
I think dream big, dream fearlessly, and believe in yourself, I think.
Congratulations. Shanti, may I request you to take center stage for the next award? This brings us to our next category, Marketing Leader of the Year, and here are the nominees. Neha Ahuja, Director, Head of Marketing, India, Middle East and North Africa, Spotify. Louder applause, please. Ranjini Krishnaswamy, General Manager, Tanishq Marketing, Titan Company Limited. Sakshi Verma Menon, Director Marketing, India, Kimberly-Clark. Shalini Rao, CMO, Bangalore International Airport. And Shreya Sachdev, Head of Marketing and Strategy at Puma, India. The ETPrime Women Leadership Awards Marketing Leader of the Year is Ranjini Krishnaswamy, General Manager, Tanishq Marketing, Titan Company. Hi, Ranjini. Now, Marilyn Monroe famously said that diamonds are a girl's best friend. What is a marketer's best friend?
Since there are so many women in the audience, diamonds are still a marketer's best friend. But jokes apart, I think curiosity is a marketer's best friend, Suresh. Because a curious mind is a wonderful workshop. It pushes you, it urges you to take the journey of discovery. Get to know your consumer a little more, get to know her truths a little deeper, understand what meaningful experiences that you can deliver for her, be more meaningful yourself as a marketeer in her life. So I would say curiosity it is. Thank you so much. So watches are also a woman's best friend.
Congratulations, Ranjini. No, I've been wearing Titan since 1994 when I worked at Titan. I'm a Titan loyalist. Thank you, Shanti. Thank you for doing the honors. To give away the next two awards, may I invite Karthik Reddy, co-founder and partner at Bloom Ventures, to do the honors. Karthik, can we have you on stage? Our next category is HR Leader of the Year, and here are the nominees. Amrita Padda, Chief People Officer, Airtel. Pratibha Priyadarshini, Vice President and Head of HR, Shell India. Raj Kamal Vempati, Head of Human Resources, Axis Bank. Raju Misti, President and Global Chief People Officer, Cipla. Renu Bora, Chief People Officer at DB Schenker. The HR Leader of the Year is Pratibha Priyadarshini, Vice President HR, Shell India. Pratibha, what will it take to achieve 50-50 gender parity in leadership positions in India, Inc.? And you can be as brutal as you want.
I was going to say nobody solved that problem. Why me now? But yes, that is the question that keeps us HR people awake. And as one business leader famously said, that it's not an HR problem, it's a business problem. So not running away from my award. But I just wanted to say, so many talented women here, and I've got some excellent nominees that were along with me who know the grind. It is about the policies. Shanti mentioned many parts of the leaky pipeline, right? There's a fourth M. There's even menopause. There's marriage, mobility, menopause, and maternity. So it is about corporate India taking care essentially of those leaky pipelines. In Shell, we've got about 85% of the people who stay back. You've just said that you've heard many things about people who worked in Shell Canada. 85% of the women stay back for us. Mobility is not a problem. Future of work and where we sort of have flexibility is not a problem either. But still, there's not enough on the top. And what does that mean? Getting more people in and the entry barriers and focusing on that. They come in through the fresher programs, etc., but we've still not been able to solve that. So corporate India needs many things, and I'm not going to stand here taking up too much time. One of the biggest things that I was thinking about this morning is about how women can stop complaining about STEM careers, about careers that are difficult, and helping ourselves a little more. I know it's a contentious one, but I wanted to bring that up because I just see so many youngsters now who probably don't take the difficult routes. And there are choices and brilliant choices, but I just think we don't stand there to get our full potential. So I just want to leave that one message back to help ourselves on that count. Thank you very much.
Congrats, Pratibha. Karthik, don't worry, we have questions for the men also. All right, so the one thing venture capitalists are accused of is not funding enough women entrepreneurs. So as a venture capitalist, the question to you is, why are there so few women startup founders in India?
No, so I think the industry is guilty, not just in India. It's a global phenomena. I think it's risen to the top, especially in the last 10, 15 years as dialogues have moved beyond what the purpose of venture is and why aren't more women coming forth. I think the challenges are just as we've had DEI initiatives inside of corporates and MNCs, and corporates have been driving those, those initiatives within industry. I think venture is arguably 2 steps behind. And some of this complexity comes because, and I think all men recognize that women make, women run homes, right? And they're phenomenally diversified in their skill sets. When it comes to startups, and especially venture capital as an industry is guilty of having unusual and unreal expectations of speed, of scale, growth, high pressure. And it might be controversial, but women are incredibly poised, taking a very measured approach, whereas VCs get caught up in FOMO, mad rush. And so they almost expect an unwarranted pace of startups, and therefore have biases. It doesn't help that the other side of the table, the VCs itself, are dominated by the male gender, right? And so I think it's a cycle that will take. By the way, venture is being celebrated in India, but we haven't finished a regular cycle in venture where even the male entrepreneurs have delivered in spades, right? So it is a tough industry where you pick up a startup, you give it startup funding, and it gets to scale. So when that's being judged across the industry, women have it twice as difficult. And breaking into that, through that mindset that women are also capable of this is taking its own natural course. What I would double down on is, and this was not coordinated between the winner and me, but what I would double down on is, I think, like any category of entrepreneurs or any category of society that's underrepresented, it is the role of the winners to sort of be doubly sort of vocal about their success stories, right? And we don't see as many sort of podcasts and videos and storytelling about how great women entrepreneurs go through those journeys. It's assumed that everybody in this room had it as easy as men and what their challenges were. Definitely not the case, right? I think that's what needs to be done. That's my take.
Thank you, Karthik. May I request you to stay with us for the next award as well? The next award category is Technology Leader of the Year, and here are the nominees. Ishu Jain, Director of Analytics at Swiggy; Neeta Wahi, Group Chief Information and Digital Officer, Sterlite Power; Priya Kanduri, CTO and Vice President, Cybersecurity Services at Happiest Minds; Ruma Kishore, Director Digital Transformation, Customer Experience at Unilever; Vaishali Rana, Deputy Chief MIS at CERC. The ETPrime Technology Leader of the Year is Priya Kanduri, CTO and Vice President, Happiest Minds. You started out your career in STEM, and not many women were entering STEM, and I think Pratibha mentioned that as well, that STEM careers are perceived to be harder than non-STEM careers. What needs to be done to promote more women in STEM?
As two of our women leaders also already spoke about it, it is not an easy field, but then at the same time, I would say from my own experience of being in tech for 25 years, it's a very fulfilling, challenging kind of area, and the way to promote, the reason why we don't see many women in tech is, it seems like a difficult choice, it seems like a difficult path, and also there are not many role models. It's hard to find many CTOs or CIOs who are women. That also contributes to the fact that the women who are choosing career think it's a tough field and they fall off the ladder. And the way at least I try to promote, and also organizations should be trying to promote, is to show the path, to constantly encourage them with the kind of fulfilling choices that they can see in the tech field, how satisfying it can be. And it's, I mean, nowadays tech fields are very high paying fields as well. It gives you job security, it gives you good pay, it keeps you on the move, there are possibilities of endless, there's constant learning. These are the things that organizations have to promote, and also women leaders who are mid and senior positions have to promote the same, create that ecosystem for women, take the time out to mentor them, to tell them the possibilities and the reasons that they need to stay in tech. And also, especially, encouraging women to get back to work post their maternity leave or some of the other challenges that the leaders just spoke about. That's really, really key to keep women on the track of tech ladder. And we really need as many women as possible in this field. Thank you. And thank you so much.
Congratulations, Priya. Thank you, Karthik, for doing the honors. To give away the next set of awards, may I call on stage Vaishali Nigam Sinha, co-founder and chairperson of sustainability at Renew, to do the honors. Vaishali. Our next award is for the Sales Leader of the Year, and here are the nominees. Aparna Herur, Vice President, Capgemini Technology Services. Diksha Aneja, Country Sales Manager, Medtronic. Nidhi Jain, Global Director, Sales and Business Development at Massive. Pali Tripathi, CEO of Chabi Mobility, a part of the RPG Group. And Varij Pujara, Chief Distribution Officer, Aditya Birla Health Insurance. And the winner is Varij Pujara, Chief Distribution Officer, Aditya Birla Health Insurance. Varij, here's a question for you now. Help me understand this. So men with strong opinions are called assertive and confident. Women with strong opinions are called aggressive or worse. How do you women deal with this hypocrisy?
You know, I've been working for 28 years. A lot of things have changed. Technology has changed. Consumer behavior has changed. How we sell has changed. But this one question has always remained a constant. But frankly, I've learned in my life that living your life based on other people's perceptions is a tiresome exercise, you know, and it doesn't allow you to give your best. And one must also understand that these attitudes stem from historical gender stereotypes and societal expectations based on centuries of male-dominated social hierarchy. And things are changing. They're changing very, very fast. And these awards are actually a shining example of how women have made an impact and made a mark in erstwhile male-dominated areas of expertise. I genuinely believe that as women, we should embrace our opinions. We should not be scared to air our opinions. And if that's assertive, aggressive, or worse, it frankly should not matter. Having said which, I also believe that if you're faced in such, and we all face such situations, I have, it's best to call it out. You know, it is important to make the other person understand the importance of diverse views and diversity on the table and around the table. So I think that's very, very important. I'm honestly very, very, I genuinely believe that professional life embraces meritocracy. And as long as you demonstrate your skills, experience, and competence, and keep delivering results, I think nobody can ignore your contributions. And then all of these things, it doesn't really matter whether you're assertive, whether you're perceived as assertive, aggressive, or even worse. So I always believe keep being a path breaker and keep blazing a trail. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Varij. Vaishali, I'm going to ask you to stay on stage for a little while longer. Our next award goes to the Operations Leader of the Year, and here are the nominees. Anshu Bazirani, Vice President and Head of Indirect Procurement, Productivity and Real Estate, Diageo India. Harpreet Mohan, Co-Director, Schneider Electric. Kavita Chaturvedi, COO, ITC Food Business. Kusum Sharma, Head of Supply Chain and Digital Transformation, Mercedes-Benz R&D India. Natasha Chopra, Head Planning India and South Asia of Kohler & Company. And the award for Operations Leader of the Year goes to Kusum Sharma, Head of Supply Chain and Digital Transformation, Mercedes-Benz R&D India. Kusum, you know, these fields like manufacturing and operations, men think they have a right over these fields, male-dominated fields. As a woman, what does it take to succeed in these so-called male-dominated fields?
I think the first challenge throughout my journey, most of the people in the room are men. I was the only one person in manufacturing, in supply chain, who was sitting in any meeting, any training, and that was very, very overwhelming for me. So I think the first thing which I think inbuilt in me is boldness. I always speak up my mind. I don't afraid to, put my opinions. I think that really works for me. I still remember my first journey. I started with Gurgaon, and it was so difficult to working on a shop floor and working with the union people, and where I had to stand up for myself and ignoring all the opinions. I think my previous, what he has mentioned about, that I don't have ears for it. And so my boldness, my curiosity, and my hard work keep me here. And that's the reason, I keep moving. And this is just a beginning. Thank you.
Congrats, Kusum. Congrats, thank you. Vaishali, question for you. Margaret Thatcher famously said, if you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. Right? What's the big difference, management style, leadership style between men and women?
I like that part of your question, but the part which I think I'd sort of comment on is I'll strip the gender part of the question. I think leadership is leadership. At the end of the day, a good leader is a leader who is, ethical, who's empathetic, who's effective, and who gets things done. So I guess, now you could have a male leader who's good or a woman leader who's good, and so that's where that is. But I think it takes a lot more for women to get where they do once they become leaders, and so that, I think it makes them more determined. It makes them more empathetic because they've gone through a lot of challenges, and that's what differentiates them. So all I would say is that if you want something, if you want to get somewhere, just ask for it and you'll get it. And because you've got there, you'll get things done much better. And one of the surveys I was reading recently, I think it was done by Meta or someone, which showed that amongst a list of about 20 competencies, women fared better, and you can start clapping now, in 16 out of the 20 competencies. So we're just better. It's as simple as that. I don't know. I don't have to list anything.
All right. Thank you, Vaishali, for doing the honors. Now, coming up next, we have one of India's finest cricketers who's going to talk about changing the game on and off the field. Mithali Raj is the youngest person to score a century in one-day internationals. She's the first Indian to score 2,000 runs in T20. The first woman to be awarded the Wisden Cricketer of the Year. I could go on and on about her achievements, but I won't do it. Instead, I'm going to invite Shishir Prasad onto stage and Mithali Raj onto stage for a candid conversation. Mithali, Shishir, can we have you on stage? Whichever side you feel like. That's a good question. Both sides, all sides. Leg side and off side, both. Shishir, over to you.
So I could easily say that my guest today doesn't need any introduction, but I'm just going to take a minute or two to acknowledge something. Last year in October, BCCI sort of declared that there would be equal pay on match fees for men cricketers as well as women cricketers. That's one. The second thing is Women's Premier League took off this year. And that house in which today's women cricketers stand, one of the people who built that house is my guest here today. One of the finest cricketers India has produced. Batsman par excellence, captain extraordinaire. Welcome to the program, Mithali. So we'll just sort of start it straight away. You're a pioneer, and that makes it very special, especially for a sports person. One of the things is that very long career that you had, almost 2 decades, right? Close to that. How do you achieve such a long career? I mean, that's something which I think the audience here would sort of want to know. So if you can have a little bit of your perspective on this. Is it working? Maybe.
When I started playing cricket at a very young age, if somebody would have asked me, like, you will go on to play for 23 years of international cricket, I probably would have just dismissed them, saying that, you know, it's not possible. But I started when I was a 10-year-old kid, and I didn't know the pros and cons of pursuing unconventional sport back then, because women's cricket definitely was in obscurity. I personally also didn't know much about the ex-cricketers like Shanta or Dinah until I graduated and played the senior level in domestic circuit. But there are few principles that I've stuck from the time I started playing till the day I retired. And if I have to illustrate that, it would be one is because sports is always evolving. Every series, every year, the standard keeps improving because there are so many formats which has come to keep the sport alive in the eyes and the vision of people, to entertain. It's one source of revenue. So to keep up to the relevant times and the standard of the sport, self-awareness and evaluation is very important.
Great, yeah.
Second is discipline. That I was taught very young because my dad was from Air Force.
Yes.
And that primary reason why I got into sport is to inculcate the habit of early rising, a part of discipline.
Yeah, you've spoken about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So discipline is the second part. Third is hard work. I mean, there's always been times when, you know, even you go through different phases in your journey, but there's never been a day where I haven't gone to the training, you know, unless I'm really ill. Times when I've come back from a shoot very late in the night, but I'm still up there early in the morning to train. So I've never missed my training sessions, the discipline to maintain a routine. Because when I started playing, I was in school. I was also a trained classical dancer. So I've also learned dance for 8 years. And it was very difficult to manage both along with your academics. So my mother taught me how to, you know, plan my 24 hours. You know, where I'm giving certain amount of hours for training, cricket, dance, studies. So that discipline has helped me to sort of compartmentalize how I think. Like when I'm playing cricket, I don't think about dance. So when I'm in school, when I'm studying, I'm not thinking about cricket or dance. So I was able to compartmentalize my thoughts, and that has helped me a lot over the years.
Sure.
And as I said, the number one thing is being very honest critic of yourself, because there are so many people that are judgmental and they perceive your journey, your innings or your performance in a very different way. There are some who are very, very, you know, very harsh, and there are some who, you know that, you know, they are just there to pacify you. Correct. But you know very well from which point that your performance has come. And there are times when my 30 runs has been more important, has played a bigger role than a century. And I know per se how I have worked to score those 30 runs in a particular hard situation.
Sure.
So I have been the honest, critical person of my own performance.
Great.
So I think these things, over the period of time, I think as a person also have evolved through my journey, and my beliefs as a 10-year-old to a 40-year-old has definitely changed.
Sure. Great. I'm just going to cut back a little to the beginning of your journey as a cricketer. There's a moment at the beginning of your involvement with cricket when Mr. Sampath Kumar, you know, sees you and immediately sort of tells your father that you're cut out for bigger things and that you will play for India. How do you, there is that weight of expectations then. And how do you handle that? And how do you know you are the one? I mean, that self-belief which is so necessary for success in any field. Certainly so for a sports person, but you know, the belief that yeah, you're good, you can do it.
Well, I think you sort of develop self-belief from two things. One is an environment.
Okay.
As a young kid, I was given that environment where my parents have instilled that, you know, if I put my mind to it, my mother would say you can achieve anything. So she's been a constant person around me to sort of, even there were times when if I drift into sort of a negative thought process or having people around who are constantly saying, I cannot do it, or why you've got into a sport where there is absolutely no money or recognition, nobody even cares if you play. But immediately I had my mother giving me a very different perspective. And that has really helped me to believe that, you know, there is a possibility if I put in the hard yards and grind, probably there is a chance that I'll end up playing for India. Second is your own thought process. Yes, I was very young, but being on tour alone, when you don't have your parents around, 11, 12-year-old, you'll have to be your own cheerleader. There's nobody else coming to cheer you up. And those were the days where there was no phones, no mobile. So ISD would be very expensive, and sometimes you are in places where there is no access. So what do? You'll have to take your decision, stick by it, and good or bad, you have to go through the repercussions of your decisions. So it's something that everybody learns through life, but if you're a driven person and you have an ambition, you would believe in your goals and the structure that you build to achieve those goals.
I'm going to ask you a small sort of follow-up to that. How difficult or different is it to go out to bat or to play with very little audience in the stadium?
Well, to be really honest,
yeah,
I didn't feel the difference at all.
Wow.
Because for me, I'm from that part of the era where it was taken that, there's nobody to watch. So even if there is nobody to watch, you still go out there and give your best. And one of the times when I was very low in one of those years, there was this Phoenix Mall here. It was built very new, and there was a piano there at the entrance. I don't know if anybody have ever noticed that.
Okay.
But whenever I'm very low or I've not performed well, I would just go to a mall, take a corner, buy a bucket of ice cream, and just watch people walk. And then my attention went to this pianist. He was playing, and there was nobody appreciating it. But he still was with a lot of seriousness and with honesty. He was playing that because that's where he's earning. But, if you look around, you will find there are so many people who are struggling, but yet you derive motivation from them as well. Great. So, I think that, when you go through these phases and when people have this extra responsibility on you, I've seen that as something like an honor.
Okay.
Because not everybody expects big things from each one of us. There are very few people that people expect. And you can see that as a pressure, or you can use that as a force to propel you forward, to achieve things.
I had a question, and maybe you've answered half of it already. During many times in a career, you've had to sort of carry the weight of the team on your shoulders. In fact, I would compare it a little bit to how things were for Sunny Gavaskar, because he could not attack, because if his wicket fell, it would be 9 pins after that. How do you handle that weight of expectations, knowing that you are the prized scalp?
See, just to add to what I said, I think those responsibilities or expectations come by virtue of your consistent performance over a period of time. So when I knew that, my wicket is so valued, and it's just not from the opponent's side, but I know like my team heavily depends on me. So you are calculating each and every innings or a shot that you play. The flip side to it is like sometimes you feel you're sort of chained because you can't really sort of work on what you want to do or probably take your game to the next level. And the opportunities to do that is pretty much very less than the other batters. They have the cushioning of, they know that, they have a very different role, and they have that cushioning. But sometimes, say even Sachin has to go through that. There's probably no cushioning for someone who's been very consistent. But we need to find ways. And yes, I think at some point you keep yourself secondary. If that's what the team expects and that's what the role demands out of you, then you stick to it. Because the individual player is always secondary when it comes in a team sport.
Sure. There is another moment, sort of threshold moment in a life when you were offered the captaincy of the Indian cricket team for the first time and you turned it down. people don't usually do that. I mean, this is the biggest job in that particular sport. What made you do it? How did you think through that decision? And yeah, pretty much that.
Well, before going to that tournament where the selector came up to me, my father, when he came to leave me off, he came to send me off, and he said, if you're offered captaincy, don't say no. He said that. I said, fine, I'll do that. And then when I was offered captaincy, I said no.
Yeah.
I went against my father. And I came and told to a couple of my teammates, I said, I refused, I've let go that opportunity because I just felt it wasn't the right time for me. So they said...
What made you feel that way? Why did you think it was not the right time?
Because as a leader, if you ask me who do you look up to in a team, it's definitely the leader, the captain. Because all of us look up to the captain for inspiration, to guide us, to give us a vision. And I was a 19-year-old. I felt I still have to get better at my own game to be at that level where I have the ex-captains under me, I had senior players under me. There were very few players who were of my age. So I personally felt as someone who have to step up to that level, I'm not ready.
Right.
So it's not about the skill, but it is more about how I can use the resources. So it was very much my own decision that to let go of that.
When you finally did become the captain, what are the things that you've sort of learned on the way, or you decided to learn on the way, which then you said, okay, this time I'll say yes?
Well, for those 2 years, I was the vice captain. Okay. And then I've seen how my senior, who was the captain, I've learned quite a bit under her. And
who's that?
That was Mamta Meben. Yeah. And today I feel that I've taken a very good decision of, letting go at that point, because had I led India then, I probably wouldn't have got the opportunity to lead India for good 17 years. So, sometimes when you take decisions and you follow your gut instincts, what you feel, rather than, there are so many people who will give you advice, suggestions. But if you're being honest, your instincts tell you. There is something that is within you which will probably whisper, and there are certain things that only you know what your mind and your heart says.
Sure.
Yeah, so I did learn how to, use the limited resources, as I said, and how to utilize the seniors in the side, how to make them feel that they are still wanted, because sports sometimes can be very cruel.
Well, cruel.
Yeah. There are senior players who are in and out, there are ex-captains who are sacked, and you have all of them in your side. And you have some youngsters who've just walked in, and there are some who are struggling to make a place in the side. When you have different personalities, and India being so diverse, there are so many players come from different parts of country, there's a lot of homework one has to do before leading a side. And I used to do a lot of my homeworks in the camps before getting into a tournament.
Great. It's the nature of the sports, it's nature of the sports person's life that you will hit a rough patch. The form deserts you and all of that. What are the mental processes, the things that you do to really get out of that slump? Because many don't. Some people hit a low point and then they never come out of it.
I think one first needs to accept what the situation is. If you have to wallow, you have to cry, do it. Take a day, take 2 days, take a week. But eventually you have to get over it. And what the sport taught me one thing is that there is, if you're prepared for the next day, that's a new opportunity to turn things around, to turn the table around. And in a professional setup, your feelings have no value. I mean, you have to keep your feelings aside. Because when you allow your feelings to override your thoughts, there is absolutely no clarity in what you want to do and how you want to structure your future series or what you want to plan. The most important thing in my journey, I felt, is the next step.
Okay.
And if I am confident and have a very calm and composed mind, I know my next step is going to be a long stride. But if there is chaos in my mind, I might not even end up taking the stride. So yes, there are slumps. Fortunately, I didn't have many because I was very consistent in doing the same thing. Sometimes it's monotonous and boring, but that is what helped me to have a very long career, is to work on the very things that has given me success and my fundamentals.
A lot of people, in fact, we recently, I think yesterday, somebody posted a video of Ashwin going back and playing for, I think, Tamil Nadu first class or something like that. A lot of people go back and play domestic to get back the form. Some people go back to the nets. What was your sort of go-to approach when you were trying to come out of a lean patch, as it were?
I would not go to play domestic only when I've failed.
Okay.
I would do it even when I've had a very successful series.
Okay.
And I would play every game that has come my way, whether it is domestic, playing a corporate game, playing a tennis ball match, or playing maybe a friendly game with my niece. It's competitive. You know, I would never give anything easy because I've worked my ass out for it, and I wouldn't give anything easy to anybody. And I've never seen the difference between international, domestic, or corporate, or it is a friendly game so I can let my guard down. For me, the minute I touch my bat, there has to be runs flowing from the bat. So I would do everything day in, day out, very similarly for years, so that I don't have to go through a long patch. And if at all I have gone through a low phase, I would do one thing is to sort of have these affirmations in my room. All those places where I would visit very often, whether it is a washroom or, as soon as you wake up.
Like written down?
Yes, I do a lot of that because times when you have not scored runs against an opponent and you're going to play them the next series, there's still those jitters. Even though you're coming from a good series, there are jitters that in the past you've not scored runs. So when you have those thoughts, you immediately replace them with something positive. And when you're alone, the best thing is to do is constantly read these affirmations, tell yourself that, everything is all right and you're here for a reason, or you work very hard and, focus on what is important. So whatever affirmations works for anybody, I mean, if they continue to read that day in, day out, that becomes part of you. So when I'm on the field and I still feel those butterflies, it comes naturally that, be strong or be confident.
Again, you've sort of answered maybe 0.25% of what I wanted to ask next, which is that we all have, people in this room, anywhere else, have these things that they probably fear. For a sports person, somebody like a batsman, it could be a particular bowler, right? I think for Gavaskar, it was Derek Underwood. For Sachin Tendulkar, it was Glenn McGrath, or not Shane Warne, Glenn McGrath mostly. When you're up against somebody like that who probably has your number, how do you sort of visualize through that?
So that means to that person, you are already allowing the person enter your mind to play. You've already started playing the game much before the game has actually started.
Okay.
So you are already spending your mental energy in visualizing that there's going to be an issue or there's going to be a problem when you're facing that bowler. The best thing to do is either you replace that with something, your best shots, visualization, which many of them do. And visualization not necessarily has worked for me. What worked for me is to simplify things. How do I bat? Is because I watch the ball. So I don't watch the bowler. So I don't repeat in my mind saying that she's going to come to bowl. All I repeat in my mind is watch the ball. So I simplify it even more so that whatever thing that I'm trying to tell my mind is smaller in nature, and the mind is able to focus on only that. So that helps me a lot. And I read books a lot. That is one of the reasons why I got into reading, is because when we start playing much before going onto the ground, mentally you're completely drained when you actually have to be in your top state of mind when you're out there batting. So I try and shift my focus to something very different when I'm out, padded up. I'm reading, so I'm focused elsewhere. And when I'm walking into bat, I have a very clear mind to take on the challenge on the field.
Great. I think we will run out of time, but I do want to ask you two quick questions. The first one is, who is your favorite sports person?
Well, the sport that I've never followed, but I really enjoyed reading his biography is Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the last question for the day would be, what's your favorite, or what was or what is your favorite shot and why? In cricket. Shot, yeah. Favorite shot.
Well, bread and butter has been cover drive, but my favorite shot would be a straight drive.
Well, I think we'll end it at that. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mithali.
Thank
Wonderful
you.
conversation.
Thank you, Shishir. Thank you, Mithali. That was some straight bowling and some straight batting there. Excellent square cuts. With that, we come to the first two of the four special award categories this year. These were added only this year. The four categories are Women in Governance, Women in the Services, the DEI Ally of the Year, and the Women Pioneer Award. Now, these additions expand the scope of the ETPrime Women Leadership Awards beyond India Inc. into the realms of services, social advocacy, philanthropy, and governance. And in line with our commitment of celebrating leaders who are redefining the glass ceiling, shattering the glass ceiling more accurately for women and girls across different fields. Now, to give away the first two special award categories, may I invite back on stage Mithali Raj, along with Abha Singh, advocate, women's rights activist, and founder of Run Summer Foundation, to do the honors. Mithali and Abha, can we have you on stage? Take your guard right in the center. Our first special category is Woman Leader of the Year Governance, and here are the nominees. Ashwini Bhide, IAS, Additional Municipal Commissioner, BMC, and Managing Director, Mumbai Metro Rail Corporation. Ruchira Kamboj, Permanent Representative to the UN. Suman Sharma, Member, Union Public Service Commission. Shweta Agarwal, IAS, ADM, Purba Medinipur, West Bengal. And Vinny Mahajan, IAS, Secretary, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation. Any guesses? The award for Woman Leader of the Year Governance goes to Ashwini Bhide, IAS, Additional Municipal Commissioner, BMC, and Managing Director, Mumbai Metro Rail Corporation. In the role that you work in, you need to deal with a lot of people, including, shall I say the word, politicians. So what is the strategy for getting things done and dealing with multiple stakeholders, including politicians?
I think strategy is very simple. It is all about being transparent and straightforward. It is being firm without being rigid and inflexible. It is about being accommodative without basically being compromising. So the formula is to be open-minded, to be having dialogues with all the stakeholders all the time, being consistent in it, but at the same time having the courage to say no to those demands which are beyond law and beyond logic. So that's what it is. Thank you so much, ETPrime and members of the jury, for creating this category and selecting me as the awardee. And I'm really humbled to accept it on behalf of all my colleagues, my team members, and my family members who have immensely contributed to this journey so far. Thank you so much.
The husband, can you put up your hand? Yes, the husband has been acknowledged. Thank you for supporting Ashwini. Thank you. Can I request you to stay center stage? Our next award category is Woman Leader of the Year Services, and here are the nominees. Anju Gupta, IPS Director of Police, KDS GPTS Meerut. Captain Shiva Chauhan, Indian Army. Charu Sinha, IPS, IGP Southern Sector, Central Reserve Police Force. Renuka Mishra, DG Training of the Uttar Pradesh Police. Sanjukta Parasor, IPS, Deputy Inspector General of the NIA. Flight Lieutenant Shivangi Singh of the Indian Air Force. So women in services, and the jury has seen it fit to declare 3 winners in this category. So no particular order, may I invite the first winner, Charu Sinha, IPS, IGP Southern Sector of the Central Reserve Police Force. Charu, if I may ask you a question, can I? I'll come that side. What is the toughest part of being a police officer?
So India being a very diverse country, diverse socially, culturally, linguistically, and having so many millions of people with so many aspirations and so many different moral compasses, that naturally makes policing for any officer very complex and very challenging. It requires us to be hypervigilant, and it requires us to be very responsive all the time. But the toughest part, which I found, was that the ability to deal constantly with a lot of negativity, because we get to see the underbelly of society. We get to see the worst in human beings almost majority of the time. So how does one handle it without getting affected? One needs to watch oneself carefully so that one doesn't actually lose faith in human beings and continues with the same level of positivity with which we all started out. That was one tough part. And the second part was, how do you actually win acceptance of your colleagues and co-workers wherever you're posted? Because invariably, wherever we were posted, whether it was in CRPF in Bihar or in Jammu, Kashmir, always being the first lady officer to head the forces, how does one actually win acceptance? And that is something I found that every officer was struggling with be it a man or be it a woman. And it takes some time, almost 3-4 months in every posting to win the respect of your co-workers. So in all these 27 years of service, I found that I had to constantly watch my style of leadership, be more aware of what I was doing, understand where I need to correct myself, where I need to tweak it, where is it that I have gone off track, how do I watch my ego and not take decisions based on that. So I've enjoyed it. It has been a very, very fulfilling and a very cherishing journey, and I'm very grateful in this lifetime for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Charu. Thank you. Abha, I have a question for you. Should we continue to have an annual Women's Day?
You know, not only annual Women's Day, I would say now the time has come for a decade of women, you know, for the women, you know, because as you were giving out some figures, I said we are you know, 3 Supreme Court judges in 34. And if we say not only India, world over, in the Fortune 500 companies, there are just 52 CEOs. Well, I would like 252, because when we say we are 50%, then why are we not 50%? Even in the services, we are 20%. So I think rather than just having a day, we need to celebrate every second, every minute, 24/7. Cheers to womanhood.
Mithali, question for you. Indian women cricketers are obviously at par with the world's best. Why don't we have more Indian women coaches?
We are getting there because now we have many women coaches getting into the men's team as support staff and the management. The trend is changing, and I'm sure there are many women coaches will catch up, and you'll get to see them coaching the men's side very soon.
Thank you, Mithali. May I request you to stay on stage for a little while longer? The second award in this category goes to Flight Lieutenant Shivangi Singh of the Indian Air Force. Taken. Flight Lieutenant Shivangi Singh, question for you. You're the first Indian woman pilot to fly the Rafale jet. Okay, first question. What's it like inside a Rafale jet?
It's actually it's an unexplainable feeling. However, to put it in words, it's thrilling, the every part of it, like sitting in the aircraft, making it feel like you are the part of it and taking over that beast. It's one of the dreams which all of us have, and it's amazing.
You're also very young and you've already flown the Rafale jet. What's the next milestone for you? Going to the moon?
I hope so, if soon. But I owe this achievement of mine to Indian Air Force for dissolving this gender barrier which we have had for so long. And for me, I feel that I am selfish because I have achieved my aim through that gender biasness dissolvement. However, I aim to have more women taking up these challenging jobs so that we do not, so that the jury which they initially said that they have difficulty in finding the nominees, they won't be having that. So I hope to see more women. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, Mithali, go ahead.
I just want to say that my dad has been from Air Force, is an ex-serviceman, but many a times people asked me, how do you feel when you're singing the national anthem? So it's for any athletes, it's an honor, and you would feel the goosebumps. But today I'm feeling this is the second time when I felt, other than singing a national anthem, the goosebump when you won this award. It is, I mean, probably the hard work that you put in to break the stereotypes. As an athlete, yes, we do have that we fall and we rise in public eye, but you doing the services and not demeaning any other achievers, everybody in their own discipline, in their own field, are breaking various barriers in itself is great, courageous. So I'm very happy to be part of this evening. It's an absolute my honor to be here.
And I would really like to thank ETPrime that you've started this category, because when we as jury, we were deciding this, I said, actually it was so tough when we read her CV, we read Ashwini, I said, Sardar Patel talked of the steel frame of the country, and I think here is the steel frame which doesn't talk about themselves. So this is the silent work which they are doing, making us safe so that we are here today, guarding our borders, flying Rafale. So I mean, 3 cheers to ETPrime for starting the Services Award.
I'm going to ask the audience, I'm going to make a small request. I'd like all of you to stand up and give a standing ovation to Flight Lieutenant Singh. Congratulations, Shivangi. We wish you all the best in your career. One day we hope to see you on the moon. Our third winner in this category is Sanjukta Parasor, IPS, Deputy Inspector General of the National Investigation Agency. Unfortunately, duty calls and Sanjukta is unable to be with us because of her professional commitments. We are proud to have the honor of celebrating her achievements at the ETPrime Women Leadership Awards today. Congratulations, Sanjukta. Thank you, Mithali. Thank you, Abha. May I request you to take your seats? All right, now the action is heating up at the ETPrime Women's Leadership Awards. To present the next 2 awards, may I invite somebody who pretty much needs no introduction, Mr. Arunachalam Muruganathan, widely known as the Padman of India, to do the honors. Mr. Muruganathan. Our next category is Global Indian of the Year, and here are the nominees. Bela Bajaria, Chief Content Officer at Netflix; Chandrika Tandon, Founder and Chair, Krishnamurti Tandon Foundation and Tandon Capital Associates; Devika Bulchandani, Global CEO, Ogilvy; Reshma Kebal Ramani, CEO and President, Vertex Pharma; Revati Advaiti, CEO of Flex. The winner, ladies and gentlemen, of the Global Indian of the Year is Revati Advaiti, CEO of Flex. Unfortunately, Revati could not be with us here today, but Vidya Nath, Vice President, Corporate Strategy at Flex, and Vidya Vijay Raghavan, Senior Regional Manager, Marketing and Communications, Southeast Asia, will receive the award on her behalf. But Revati has sent us a video message. Take a look.
Namaskar. I'm thrilled to receive the Economic Times Prime Women's Leadership Award for Global Indian of the Year. I first want to start by congratulating my peers who are nominated along with me, Bela, Chandrika, Devika, and Reshma. What an honor to be standing along with you all. Also, big shout out to my family, my rock star husband Jeevan, my kids Pranav and Lakshmi, and most importantly, my mother Amma. This journey and this award is ours together. The most important part about winning this type of an award is the hope that it provides to the many young girls across India. There are millions of you who are taking that crowded city bus, traveling for hours to get to school. You're putting the hours to help at home, and you're sitting in those meeting rooms or classrooms where you may be the only woman. I want you all to know that if I can be here accepting this award today, you all can be here. This award is a powerful reminder of the progress women in India have accomplished so far, but it also points to the work that continues ahead. Thank you, Economic Times, for celebrating women leaders from diverse industries. Let us all together support the next generation of women to be the best they can be. Dhanyavad.
Congratulations, Revati. Our next category is the Beyond Business Leader of the Year, and here are the nominees. Anita Ahuja, co-founder and president of Conserve India. Dr. Anjali Prakash, chairperson, Learning Links Foundation. Namya Mahajan, co-founder, Rocket Learning. Neerja Birla, founder and chairperson, Aditya Birla Education Trust. And Ruby Aluwalia, founder, Sanjeevani Life Beyond Cancer. The winner, ladies and gentlemen, is Dr. Anjali Prakash, chairperson, Learning Links Foundation. The award will be received on her behalf by Panchali Tamuli, senior partner at Learning Links Foundation. Ms. Tamuli, can we have you on stage? Dr. Prakash also has sent us a video message. Take a look.
And ETPrime for honoring me with this award. The Beyond Business Leader Award conveys my core belief: break the boundaries when serving your purpose and passion. Go beyond. And that is what we do at Learning Links Foundation. Surpass every challenge to foster purpose and progress in the lives of the underserved and help build an inclusive world. We don't give up. That's how Learning Links has become the top trusted name in the education ecosystem. More than 10 million learners have been empowered by our programs, many of whom are girls and women, and we are committed to reaching countless more. Once again, thank you for this honor.
Thank you. Mr. Munadhan, may I request you to take your seat for a moment? Now, today's award show is all about women achievers. But if you're a man in the audience today, do remember that allyship and supporting the women in your life is critically important. Let's find out more.
Country with restrictions and taboos surrounding menstruation, one man decided to challenge the status quo. Meet Arunachalam Muruganantham, the Padman of India. His innovation broke barriers, transforming the lives of many. But it all began with a simple inspiration: his wife. Witnessing her struggle during menstruation, he knew he had to find a solution. he embarked on a journey of courage and determination. From India to nearly 70 countries, over 1 million women benefited from his simple yet life-changing solution. His mission created jobs and female entrepreneurship worldwide. Arunachalam Muruganantham, the ally of women, leading the charge for a more inclusive future. Join us in celebrating the story of Arunachalam Muruganantham.
All right, so he was just on stage with me. Mr. Arunachalam Muruganathan is well known for his contributions in empowering women and enabling female entrepreneurship. Now, to find out more about the importance of allyship, may I now invite Amit Chandra, Chairperson, Bain Capital Advisors, to engage Arunachalam in a discussion on the power of allyship, the game changer in the fight against gender inequity. Just give us a moment. We're setting up the stage, and once they're done, which they're almost done, Mr. Muruganathan, can we have you back on stage? Amit, can we have you back on stage? Amit, you have 30 minutes. The floor is all yours.
Terrific. Good evening. Muru, before we get started, I just wanted to make 2 quick points. First of all, it was such a privilege being on a jury. I come from a family of overachieving women, and sitting on the other side, and as opposed to being judged, having an opportunity to actually contribute to celebrating all these women was actually an unusual opportunity for me. The second point actually was, I was reflecting on the question that Shishir asked Mithali ji on attendance in women's cricket. And I was struck by the fact that if you look at data, in 2020, we had a game at MCG, which was a women's cricket game, where the attendance in the same year at MCG was 7 times the attendance of an Australia-England game at MCG itself. So times are really changing. And you have been one of the pioneers who is also changing times. So I look forward to this conversation with you. So to start off, you chose an area where you decided to really break taboos. So maybe it'll be great for all of us to learn why you chose that topic, and what were the challenges you faced, and how did success really unfold?
So the domain I choose to transform, or something you want to change, one secret I want to reveal with gentlemen, men here. Anything you want to do, you want to change the world, you want to give up something, please start from your wife. Then how I get the fame and accolade across the world, everyone will get. Please, gentlemen, start from your wife, anything you want to do. So like that, I saw my wife trying to use a rag cloth. Then I understood she is adopting an unhygienic method. This is the first time, because menstruation is a taboo, not only in India, across the globe. While I'm telling, don't think only in India, center of New York, center of Tokyo, center of Berlin having the same problem. There are teams are visiting my company from all over the world. So such a subject I chose. I'm trying to make a pad, it's an affordable pad. It is a co-creation of product. I made in the cotton. Then whom will test? The only available victim is my wife. Then she used and said is nasty. I'm going back to my rag cloth using method. So this way, one side, I'm struggling with uneducated, some rural people. Later, after getting divorce notice and my mother left, the whole village thought I become vampire, drinking girls' blood in the evening. Why? Because one point of time, nobody is willing to help me. Because I wore a sanitary pad, which made by me, but I can wear a sanitary pad, where can I go for uterus? I made an artificial uterus in rubber bladder. I filled animal blood in this. I tied in my hip. While I'm walking and cycling, I made a small press. A dose of blood will go there. So this way I'm trying. Then one point of time, I'm collecting used pad from hostel girls and spreading across my home. I'm checking after my wife left. One day my mother said, she thought later I went to West. I thought my mother think I'm become a pervert. Because this is not meaning, because where I saw the men used to collect women braziers, panties like that, my mother thought like this, she also left. But after struggling, I made the machine, everything. You know, see this, 90% of women are not using, not only my wife. But while I'm using the slide, nothing is happening in the hall. But while I'm using the same slide in London or in Tokyo or in other cities, other countries, the whole hall get punctured. Women in the hall used to say, oh my God, das bus. Because in West, women not even able to think how the women, without using a menstrual product, how they are able to manage. Why nothing is happening in this hall? In this hall, women used to think, okay, if the poor woman is not using appropriate materials, maybe they use a rag cloth. But in my experience, I saw many part of India, you know what they are using? This. To manage the menstrual period. Sawdust, dry tree leaves, old newspaper, ash. But one side we are trying to send our women to moon, Mars, everything. I went to ISRO, I laughed, sir, we will first provide sand repair to each and every girl of India. Then we will send our women to moon and Mars. So then later, I made this simple, you know, the problem is, this is a domain meant for multinational companies. You need $1 billion to put up a company with $1 million machine. So with my effort, with my struggles, I apply this simple method. Anybody in this hall, you want to do something new, only method is given by God is T&D, nothing but trial and error method. If you put a polish, a golden shade on this, if you are in corporate, you won't tell like this without sigh. You use this gimmick word R&D. Nothing is there. There are also the trial and error. But anyway, you can claim R&D, I can tell trial and error. Out of it, I made this simple machine. Oh my God, up to that, I'm struggling with uneducated people, village people. The moment I achieved this machine, I made sanitary pad. I hand over the product which I made, this machine. I give it to the women. I got, you know, one day I got a feedback from a college girl. That day, girls have started driving gearless scooters in India. That girl volunteer is taking delivery of a scooter. I went there. Scooter is fine. And my pad, she is giving the answer. Anna, in Tamil, Anna, unga pad I use marandita. I'm using your pad, I forget. She is forgetting, she is on menstrual period. Such a comfort my napkin is giving, I am succeeded. It's a Eureka day for me.
Lovely.
But there is a machine, but you need to pattern some evaluation. One day place is IIT of India. The nearest is IITM. Those days I don't know difference between ITA and IIT. Whenever I am going to IIT, I will tell ITA. They will tell, sir, this is not ITA, this is IIT. Where, you know, very first, the English which I am speaking is my homemade English. I made around half a kilogram of English I am using here. Okay. Where I met first time French beard men, they are not wearing full pant, half pant, Bermudas, no socks, Nike shoes. They are speaking English whole body. Hi, oi. Then they are asking all the question. Because this is I conceived, I carried for 9 months, I delivered it. Even you woke up in midnight, I will answer part by part. It is original. That's why I'm giving answer everything. Even I'm a practical engineer. But they agreed this innovation. They're going away in a big hall. They're criticizing why this man took his life into risk. What is going to do with this? So one side uneducated, other side dropout and passouts of Stanford and Oxford are giving trouble. So this is what happened.
So that's a fascinating story, Muru. What were the biggest challenges you really faced? Because I mean, this is an incredible journey. A lot of people innovate and come up with something, but you clearly were able to break through, persist, get people to, you know, not just adopt the product, but scale it up as well. So what were your biggest challenges in that journey?
So first of all, I even truly am saying I don't know about Unilever, Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, Indus Unilever. All are not less than $100 billion. I am wearing a dhoti and torn seppal, no English, only Tamil. But whether I'm like or not, they will treat me as a competitor. Even in this hall, you are having a multi-billion dollar, you are trying to rub shoulder with some multi-billion company, you finish up. But I am sitting here after 25 years. So what the strategy I made, you know? The question, that's what I put in the slide. Very first time with the fireside interview, I'm using slides. The strategy is, I think many people in the hall know about Mahishasur. If you try to kill Mahishasur, you put an arrow, a drop of blood touch on the ground, another Mahishasur will come there. If I'm alone, I become a startup, I build a company, I build a brand, they will like a cake, they will acquire me, they will acquire like Limca or something, they will close it off. But I created millions of Murugas around me. Then who will they will catch that? Then secondly, what I did, they call me as a corporate bomber, but I never put anywhere any bomb in any corporate, but I converted into macro and centralized model into decentralized model. So this what is a video, it's not playing. The women used to perform Ganapati Puja for a small plant, you know, in a remote part of Haryana. Oh, he's playing lucky. Even today, if I see the video, I boost up. This is the first ever, no one know outside, because nobody is believing in the concept. This man making a small machine in wood, he is going to compete. I don't have any idea to compete with, you know, this Mehta. He is my friend, Hindustan, maybe sitting here. Okay, but they will treat us as a competitor.
Muru, just
Yeah.
for the benefit of the audience.
Yeah.
I know each of those can be branded separately, right? And
Yeah.
from what I hear, there were almost 1,500 such brands now across the country. So it's a very different approach from a Unilever and a Procter & Gamble, because you've created really micro entrepreneurs. If you could give people a sense of how much does each napkin cost compared to a napkin made by a multinational?
Thank you. There are a lot of women here. First of all, there are multinational companies since independence, before that. Then from maybe from 1900, from Second World War, cumulatively they did the penetration in India, not even 2%. 98% of women in India are not access to proper menstrual product. In Manmohan Singh government, I'm giving a lecture in Delhi. Then nobody is agreeing with me, but while in coffee time and buffet were lunching, now the ministers came, are we serious? I told with again women MPs, yes. Then they called EC Nielsen. You can check everything, what I'm not claiming, everything you can go and counter check. Even the data which I'm giving here, there are a lot of case studies on me done by Asian Bank, World Bank, in-seat of Blue Ocean Strategy, Oxford, Stanford, this Ford, that Ford, all Fords. You can access it, you can check more than my English. They will explain a lot how I did in a frugal way. So I will go to this, time is okay. Whenever you see that advertisement of multinational company, a girl wearing white tight pant, running behind a dog, she jump over a compound wall. This is advertisement for menstrual product. I met the CEOs in London. I asked what foolish advertisement they are giving. No girl or woman is willing to jump or compound on particular time. Because it's a messy area, nobody want to deal with the hygiene factor. That's what they make this product as a comfort, comfort, comfort. Nobody ever talked about hygiene.
Yes.
Because it is to talk each person one-to-one. But how a corporate can talk with millions of 50 million women in the country? And secondly, they have a machine, they can make in a minute 1,000 pads, same pad, 10 pads or 8 pads in a packet, but the women know the period will differ to women, sister, even two sisters will differ. The first day will differ to second day, the end of day. Why these stupid fellows are packing same napkin in 10 pad? Now there is a small machine, Rani is having at home, Lakshmi is going and telling her, I'm having heavy flow only on first day and second day. She will buy 2 mota napkin, 3 medium napkin, 4 thin napkin. No multinational can do this because India should pack 500 million different packets. No company cannot. But Muruga can do with decentralized offsetting model across India.
And Muru, how does that, for a lower middle class family or a family below the poverty line, what does that mean in terms of cost? Because cost has been obviously a big deterrent to that 90% which has not adopted the solution. What does that mean in terms of cost per month?
Cost?
Yeah.
Definitely, it will 600 to 1,000 rupees now. Now it is more than 1,000.
What would that compare relative to, you know, what it would have costed them to use a multinational's product?
No, you are asking ours now.
Yeah.
Ours is, I told it is a personalized. The moment say, again, I will tell you 1 rupee, 2 rupee, that's it.
Yeah,
I'm telling you about carpet napkins will be costly.
So virtually nothing compared to 600 to 1,000.
And there are more. Now we are making pads out of turmeric, with aloe vera, with vetiver, with neem leaf. They can't do it. It become unique, and because it put to open domain, a lot of innovations are happening.
Yeah. Muru, there are many things when I've been following your story for many years now. But one incredible element about what you have done that I truly admire is that it's not just a solution for women, but it's a solution by women.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you've actually enabled a lot of women entrepreneurs to, you know, come in and solve this problem, you know, for women. So, you know, just if you can talk to us about how you imagined that part of the solution and what do you see as the road ahead? Because, you know, in our corporate world, there's a term called DEI, you know,
whenever I'm talking about menstruation product, you can make like that. Some NGOs will come, even government. They will firstly ask, Muruga, can we know the break even? Then I will tell, I know what they're asking. Sir, even from 10th floor you push my machine, it won't broke, sir. The business break even, that even, it for business. I am talking here about creating livelihood. In business, there is failure, there is suicide, there is competition, there is failure, there is running out of the country. But in livelihood, nothing. If they want one-time kana, they can work for 3 hours. They want 2-time kana, they want to send their children for a good school, they can work for 8 hours, 10 hours. There is no failure. Like a tailoring machine, then put off. So secondly, I will show some photos. I am sitting with Bill Gates. They call because what they are not able to do with multi-million-dollar spending, I did in frugal matter of amount that, you know, some impact. This is simple word. I called woman, I created, and again I saying maybe there is an MBA student. Even you can't make as an entrepreneur a pass out of IIM Ahmedabad, IMA. But how can Muruga will convert a rural woman, not even sign her name with pen, as a successful entrepreneur? I only know she is entrepreneur. She don't know. See the secret. So because she is livelihood, she is making napkin, she is using, she know after using this, they don't have rashes, they don't need to put their hand on the private part, no itching, nothing. The same they will go and tell to the other women with 2 free samples. If they created 3,000 customers, 1 unit will run. So this way, I'm having millions of not volunteers, their own livelihoods they are happening. And very importantly, it is not about first 2A, not availability or affordability. Awareness is missing. That awareness can create only one-to-one. So that's why this model become for the one, by the one model. It's very simple. They are the stakeholders, like this.
Lovely, lovely. Muru, we have time for one last question.
I'll finish it.
And there's another element of what you do that I really admire. You know, I come from the corporate world and now I spend half my time in the social sector, mainly working with farmers, and everything we do is open source. We put it, you know, on the net, anyone can download it. And I noticed that, and which is very unlike the corporate world where we hold everything very close to our chest as a secret. And I noticed that everything you do is open source. You could have patented everything, but you've allowed people to copy it shamelessly for the benefit of women. What prompted that thinking, and how important is it to scale the solution so that ultimately all those 90% who today are denied a basic right will ultimately get their right?
Luckily, I never get educated, especially from many IIMs. That's what I don't have fear on my future. The moment you pass out, especially you got 2 degrees, you will come out with a lot of fears. I don't know what I'm going to do, which company I'm going to do. That fear I don't have. Then I am luckiest person. I travel the country crisscross more than any leader, more than Mahatma Gandhi I can tell. So such, that's what I know, that the hugeness of Bharat Mata, the impact. So that's what, it cannot grab by one single man or one company. It is a subcontinent. To transform that, we need millions of Muruga. That's why I put all this on open domain. So this is what
Lovely.
happened.
Muru, you're such an inspiration to all of us. Thank you for what you do. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you, Arunachalam. We wish we could give you another hour, but we have a clock. But thank you very much, and we salute you, sir, for the extraordinary work that you have done. With that, we come to the next 2 special award categories, the DEI Ally of the Year and the Women Pioneer of the Year. And to present these 2 awards, may I invite on stage a leader who has been instrumental in championing DEI in the workplace and beyond. Ms. Rekha Menon, can we have you on stage? First up, we have the DEI Ally of the Year. Here are the nominees. Geetika Mehta, Managing Director, Hershey, India. Jaya Panda, Chief Learning and Development and Chief Diversity Officer, Tata Steel. Ruhi Ranjan, Senior Managing Director, Lead Europe Markets, Advanced Technology Center, India, Sponsor Inclusion and Diversity, Accenture. Sukanya Hazarika, Director, Khaitan & Company. Tina Vinod, Founder and CEO, Diversity Simplified. And the winner, ladies and gentlemen, the DEI Ally of the Year is Geetika Mehta, Managing Director, Hershey, India. Geetika, whenever we talk of allyship, we always think of men being allies to women. But we have an audience full of high-achieving women. How can women be allies to other women?
Thanks firstly for this award. I think really honored and privileged to be part of such a stellar team here. So thank you so much. So specifically to your question, specifically, you can hear me? Okay. So to the question of how we can be allies, I think the important part is really about empathy. And I don't think it takes men or women to be showing the empathy of really understanding where the other person comes from, and it takes some amount of courage, because you can't just be passive observers. You have to be catalysts of change. I mean, we just heard this lovely speech. Thank you so much of that fireside chat. You couldn't just observe and then do nothing about it. You have to basically become that agent of change. And I think for allyship, therefore, I would believe both men and women can be allies, and what it takes is empathy and courage. Thank you.
Empathy and courage. Well spoken. Congratulations, Geetika. Rekha, question for you. As a DEI champion, what is the one step or move you can make in a large organization? Because large organizations resist change. They are like large ships. They can't change all of a sudden. What can you do in a large company that can create significant difference and ensure real long-term impact, that the organization is changed for good?
All right, if I had to choose one thing, it would be one, leadership commitment from the top, and second, along with it, making diversity a business metric. We measure revenue, we measure profits, we measure growth. Why don't we measure diversity? So once we put it on measure and we put it publicly, it'll grow. Simple.
All right. Adding a line to the triple bottom line. Our next category is Woman Pioneer of the Year, and here are the nominees. Anuradha TK, retired Indian scientist and project director, ISRO. Gagandeep Kang, director, Global Health, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Indu Malhotra, retired Supreme Court judge. Dr. Ritu Kharidal Srivastav, scientist, ISRO. Dr. Tetsio Thomas, former Director General, Aeronautical Systems at DRDO. And the Woman Pioneer of the Year, she's already here, Dr. Tetsio Thomas, former Director General, Aeronautical Systems at DRDO. Dr. Thomas, Indian women have done extraordinary work in the area of aerospace. What about aerospace attracts the best and brightest women in India?
With this emerging technologies, aerospace has become an area of innovation and invention. And this is a field where we work on technologies of first of its kind. It's the knowledge what it matters, and you need to be determined to learn and acquire knowledge. And I always say science has no gender. Today, there are a lot of awareness and fascination among the young girls to explore these new areas of aerospace technologies. I'm sure with their great effort, there will be a lot of change which will happen, and they are, with their intelligence, we harnessing their intelligence and guiding them to the right field makes the difference, and it is going to happen. And I take this opportunity to thank ETPrime and the jury members in selecting me for this prestigious award. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas. Congratulations. Thank you, Rekha. Thank you for doing the honors. Let's move on. To present the next two awards, may I request on stage Sangeeta Pendurkar, CEO of Pantaloons, to do the honors. Sangeeta, by the way, is also a past winner of the ETPrime Women Leadership Awards. Sangeeta. Our next award for the evening is Business Leader of the Year, and here are the nominees. Nisaba Godrej, Executive Chairperson, GCPL. Samina Hamid, Executive Vice Chairperson, Simla. Shona Chauhan, CEO, Pale Agro. Suchita Oswal Jain, Vice Chairperson and Joint MD, Padman Textiles. And Viniti Saraf Mutreja, MD and CEO, Viniti Organics. The Business Leader of the Year is Viniti Saraf Mutreja, MD and CEO of Viniti Organics. We did not here with us, but we have Mr. Vinod Saraf, Executive Chairman and Founder of Viniti Organics, who will receive the award on her behalf. Viniti has sent us a video message. Take a look.
For not being here in person for the ceremony. I think it's a tremendous effort that ETPrime does in recognizing women leaders from all across sectors and all over the country. I would like to thank ETPrime as well as the jury for selecting me. I would also like to congratulate all the other awardees as well as all the other nominees. I would also like to thank my father, who is here collecting the award on my behalf. He is my mentor, and I have learned a lot about business from him. And lastly, I would like to extend my gratitude to the entire team at Viniti Organics, without whose support this wouldn't have been possible. Thank you.
Right. Mr. Saraf, what's the one thing you're most proud of when it comes to Viniti's achievements? Go ahead.
Good evening. First of all, let me express my deep sense of gratitude to the Economic Times and the distinguished jury panel for selecting Viniti for this prestigious award. To answer your question, sir, Viniti is a born business leader. Even at the age of 3 or 3.5, she wanted to be a businesswoman. She has leadership quality right from her school days. Even when she was studying in college in USA, she would accompany me to visit and discuss with our customers like BSF and Dow, etc. Her business acumen makes her a business leader. The very fact that our company was having a market capitalization of only rupees 20 crores when she joined our company in 2006, which is now rupees 20,000 crores, speaks a volume about that. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Congratulations, Vinti. Sangeeta, question for you. One of the things that women keep asking is, how do they find mentors in organization? What's a good way for young women or professionals to find mentors in the workplace or elsewhere?
Great. Good evening, everyone, and a pleasure to be here, and many thanks to ETPrime for having me here, and great to see the way the awards have evolved over the last few years. I think the role of mentors is extremely critical, and speaking out of my own experience, having access to good mentors is truly a career catalyst or a career accelerator. I've been very blessed in my journey of the last 35 years across 6 organizations and 4 different sectors that I've been blessed to have some very good people as my mentors who've shaped my career. They've played different roles, creating a safe space for conversation and feedback, or making sure that they help you think through clearly in terms of separating the woods from the trees, or just keeping the spark alive. I think here the onus, of course, is both ways. One, for the organizations to find the right mentors for women, and because even today we have such huge gaps in terms of the work environment where you don't have as many women in the workforce. Of course, it's changing, and therefore women need that help in terms of courage and confidence. So the organizations must take very active steps to provide mentors to women, and equally, I think as women leaders, we play a role to pay forward and to be mentors to the women who are young and pull them up and make sure that we give them great careers. But the women too must seek out good mentors, use, like Gitika said, the power of empathy, which is a superpower, and create long-lasting relationships with their mentors and allies. Thank you.
And we do have a room full of extraordinary mentors right now. Just saying, so if any of you are looking for mentors, now is a good time to network. Sangeeta, I'm going to request you to stay on stage for the next category, and that category is Lifetime Achievement Award, and here are the nominees. Ex-Chairperson, JP Morgan South Asia. Rekha Menon, Ex-Chairperson and Senior MD, Accenture India. Shamala Gopinath, Ex-Chairperson HDFC. Usha Sangwan, Independent Director, Godrej Housing Finance. Vinita Bali, Independent Director, ex-Britannia Industries. The winner of the Lifetime Achievement Award is Shamala Gopinath, former Deputy Governor, RBI, and former Chairperson, HDFC Bank. Ms. Gopinath could not be with us here today, and the award will be received by Ms. Surekha Marandi, former Executive Director, RBI. Gopinath has sent us a video message. Take a look.
I'm grateful to Economic Times and the prestigious jury for this prestigism. And coming from a leading newspaper, the Economic Times, which I have been subscribing for a lifetime, it's truly an honor. I accept the award with all humility, knowing that there are several amazing achievers in this country. My sincere apologies for not being able to be, for not being present in person to accept this award. I owe this award to the great institution, the Reserve Bank of India, where I spent a lifetime and had the privilege of working with outstanding professionals and outstanding colleagues. A special thanks to Dr. Y.V. Reddy and Dr. Subbarao, governors, intellectual giants with whom I had the opportunity to work closely when I was Deputy Governor. And of course, grateful thanks to my family, my husband, my parents, and my children, without whose cooperation I could not have achieved more. Once again, thank you very much.
Congratulations, Ms. Gopinath. Thank you, Sangeeta. Thank you very much. And with that, we come to the final award in today's show. To present this award, may I invite on stage Amit Chandra to give away the honors. Our final award for the night is the ETPrime Women Leadership Award, CEO of the Year. Here are the nominees. Hina Nagarajan, Managing Director and CEO, Diageo India. Kapuna Khate, President and Country Head, India, Bank of America. Shoma Mondal, Member of the Public Enterprise Selection Board. Suparna Mitra, CEO, Watches and Wearables Division, Titan Company. And Zarin Daruwala, CEO, Standard Chartered Bank India. Take a moment, ladies and gentlemen. These are the top winners. We have 2 winners in this category. In no particular order, the first winner of the year, of the CEO of the year, is Shoma Mondal, member of the Public Enterprise Selection Board. The question for you, most young women don't dream of a public sector job. What can we do to make the public sector more attractive to young women professionals?
See, I would put it this way that if you look at public sector, the financial and the service sectors do have its women there. The main problem is in the manufacturing and the production. And if you see, most of the units are located remotely. The women have problems going there. It doesn't attract them. More so after the wedding, after the marriage, the relocation is a major issue for which a lot of attrition takes place. Second, I would say the roles in a shop floor isn't attractive enough for women there because they would better be seated in some metro cities, in some offices, in an air-conditioned office, not in a, or say in a steel industry like in a blast furnace. The heat of a blast furnace or SMS will not attract them too much. Saying this, I would also say there has been a lot of women who have joined recently. They are doing exceptionally well in the public sectors, in the shop floors. I would say that these are the women who would be able to encourage, you know, the moment they see their seniors have joined the manufacturing and they are doing well in shop floors and they are working so passionately, this would influence the next generation to join. And maybe awards like this would be go a long way in encouraging women to join and also for them to dream that they can sit in that corner room sometime, someday. Thank you so much, and thank you, ET, for this award.
Amit, actually the next question is for you. What's the one trait common to all the winners today that you've observed?
You know, I actually asked this question to my mentor, Mr. Wagul, once. And he said he sees no difference between women and men if they actually provided the same opportunity. And if you ask me, I think all of them are as good as any male leader I have interacted with. I just think they made the most of the opportunities that have been presented to them.
Thank you, Amit. Our second winner of CEO of the Year is Hina Nagarajan, MD and CEO, Diageo India. Hina, can we have you on stage? Said, I was the CEO of PepsiCo by day. When I came home in the evening, my mother said, go and buy milk, go and buy vegetables, right? Your mother was a strong influence in your life. How would she feel if she knew her daughter was the CEO of the largest alcohol company in the country?
First of all, thank you for this, ET and the jury, and it's a real privilege to be with all these outstanding women in the country. My mom was a lady well ahead of her times. When I was a young teenager, she taught me everything a woman should do. And then as I grew into my late teens, she started talking to me about what a woman can do. And, you know, that's the reason why I'm here. And I can see her beaming away, winking at me and saying, cheers, keep walking. You know, the famous Johnny Walker thing, right? And honestly, as the CEO of an Alcobev company, Diageo India, I have such a huge opportunity to keep walking, pushing diversity. 5 years ago, we had less than 7.5% women in our company. Today, I have 50% executive in my company, and we have 27% women in the company. And we want to push for at least 35 before we get to 50. So all I want to say is thanks, Mom. Thanks, Arvind, my husband, who changed his life to support me. And thanks to Team Diageo India, not only for their passion for performance, but for diversity. We are really making progressive strides. Thank you so much.
Cheers to that. Congratulations, Hina. Thank you, Amit. Thank you for joining us. Now, we started this evening with some spectacular music, and we're going to end it with music as well. Now, this brings us almost to the end of today's award ceremony. But before we get to that, may I invite on stage Deepak Ajwani, editor, Economic Times, to deliver closing remarks and the vote of thanks. Deepak.
Thanks a lot, Suresh. Good evening, everyone. How do you thank a room full of women achievers? You express deep gratitude for not just what they have done, but also for the valor, for the grit, determination that they've demonstrated in reaching each of their career milestones. You then also humbly pray to God and make a singular wish. May the tribe grow. May the tribe grow enough to fill each boardroom, to fill each of the Parliament House, each of the State Assembly, and all the defense forces that Shivangi represents. May the tribe grow enough that we at ETPrime and the jury have a tough time for choosing the best of the best in the years to come ahead. Thank you, ladies and a few gentlemen, in joining us for this celebration of ETPrime Women Leadership Awards. As they say, charity begins at home. My thank you also begins at home. Don't be surprised, this entire awards night has been collectively put together by a stellar team of women leaders in our own team. I'd like to share a few names here. Shalini Karunakaran, Tenzin Pema, Neeraj Dubey, Miloni Bhatt, Meghna, who's sitting in Noida, my social teammates Shubhra Sharma and Anushri Jonko, who are managing social team and live stream from Noida. We have stellar team within our own, where we get inspiration to hold these awards. So thanks again for taking time out today and celebrating these awards with us. We hope you got a glimpse of the leadership and the capabilities that our nation has. And the bright future, these women leaders will take the nation ahead and build the Amrit Kal ahead of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deepak. Once again, a quick thank you to our partners and sponsors. Accord India is our knowledge partner. The latest edition of the ETPrime Women Leadership Awards 2023 is powered by Peak 15 partners Spark. Accrete Executive Search is our associate partner. Hero Motocorp is our mobility partner. Gale and Siemens are our bronze partners. Now, for our special closing performance, all the way from Nagaland, we have the incredibly talented Tetsio Sisters, Mercy, Azi, Kuku, and Lulu. They're a vocal quartet who are committed to keeping the traditions of folk music alive. Now, we're going to have them live on stage shortly. They're going to deliver a lyrical ode to women power and demonstrate the strength of sisterhood. But while we set up the mic and the stage, take a look at their journey so far. gentlemen, please welcome the Tetsio Sisters, Mercy, Azzy, Kuku, and Lulu. The stage is all yours. Just give us a few minutes. We're still doing some settings and some fine-tuning. The performance will start shortly. Can I ask you a couple of questions while we're waiting for the performance to start? Sure. Can I have audio in this mic, please? Check. Can you hear me? Yeah. First of all, are you all real sisters?
Yes, sir.
Now, most people, how many people in this room have a sibling, sister or brother? Okay, how many people like your sister or your brother? All liars. Most people don't get along with their siblings. And you have been singing together since what, 30 years now? 26 years? What is the secret to getting along with your siblings?
That is the music.
It's the music?
Yeah.
Okay, so the secret to getting along with your siblings, learn music. But seriously, what has it been like performing all these years together?
I think it's a blessing, truly a blessing from God. Thanks to God for the gift of music. Music has been bringing us together. Even today, it has brought all of us together here.
Well said. Let me ask the other sisters. Is what she's saying true?
Of course, of course. You know, I was thinking we'll do with a normal introduction, but I'm a mother here. She's also become a mother. So it's all because of our music that we come together as a family also. And we all live in different cities. We're all living in different states. So our music is what brings us together. So like together in music, our family is also getting closer.
And are your children here with you today?
Yes, my infant is in the hotel with my babysitter, and for her also, her infant is here with us.
I'd say the next time bring the children to this hall. We'd like to see them.
Yes, we
It's
are
a
hoping
little past
that
their bedtime, but you should bring them anyway.
they will share in the legacy, yes. They will be joining us on the stage, hopefully, very soon.
All right. Okay. With that, I think we're about set up. Are we good to go?
All right. So once again, it's really a privilege and an honor for us to be here this evening with, to perform and share our songs with such a wonderful audience, so many inspiring people. Like Azzy mentioned, today is my comeback day after the baby. And today also incidentally marks her third month birthday. So it really is a special evening. And thank you. Thank you for having us. I am Mercy. Well, that's...
Hi, I'm Azzy.
Hi, I'm Kuvele.
Hello, I'm Lulu. And incidentally, she's the baby of the family. And it's been wonderful 20 plus years performing songs from Nagaland. And tonight we have 4 songs for you. And of course, they all pay tribute to the spirit of womanhood, because our folk songs also tell us that a lot of times women are taken for granted. But yes, we women, we don't complain. We sing and we find joy. And in our strength, everybody else flourish. So we like to present a couple of songs from Nagaland. The first one is called Tokwili. In the old days, the most beautiful of girls were chosen to go and look after the community herds. So they did the important job of looking out for the community's resources as well as protecting their resources. Here is Tokwili. The sounds of the Tati. Prosily is the weaver's song, and the song pays tribute to the beautiful shawls we are wearing this evening. This shawl has special significance because it was hand-woven by our mother, but the shawl itself signifies the strength and resilience of a woman. So that was Prosily. Well, tonight is an evening of celebration, and in the Naga way, all folk songs are sung in a community setting with everybody singing along and, you know, joining in the fun. So we'd like to invite you all to join us on this song. This one is called Rosi, and the Rosi is a beautiful flower which always finds a place to grow and flourish and blooms. And the song says, we should always live beautiful lives and inspire others. And well, you know, metaphorically, women are always compared to flowers. So, well, we all are Rosis. So when we sing the Rosi, there are two parts, which is a typical Naga folk call and response element of the song. And we go, Rosi, and everybody else comes in with Rosi, Rosi. So we go, Rosi, and everybody comes in with Rosi, Rosi. So we try it once. Rosi, Rosi, Rosi. Rosi, Rosi. And then it goes faster, faster, like Rosi, Rosi, Rosi. Rosi, Rosi, Rosi. And then there's a little clap here and there. Well, we'd like to invite all of you to stand on your feet and sing and jig along with us. All right? Okay. Please feel free to join us. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You may have a seat. This one's called Jepochilho Lizo. Well, the song talks about the reminiscence of a woman. Well, beauty is fleeting, like the cherry blossoms. And the song talks about how a woman looks back on her life, and she thinks about how once when she was young, people used to call her a cherry blossom. And a song is a reminder of how youth is really fleeting in beauty too. But you know, if you do not concentrate on the physical beauty, then beauty is definitely a joy forever. Let me take this moment to congratulate all the women who are leaders and cheerleaders, because we all are warriors. And congratulations everyone who's here tonight, because you all have gone through, I'm sure, wonderful and terrible times to be here this evening. And we, sisters and our brother, we too have, well, glorious stories of battles won and battles to be won. And I'm sure each of one of you has wonderful stories to tell, and we are so glad that we are able to tell some stories through our songs this evening. The last song that we have for you this evening is a song called We Are Warriors. And it's our latest single, which we released and launched last December. And the song celebrates the spirit of warriors that is in each and every one of us. We can be warriors in so many different ways. We are warriors in very different ways, and we want to celebrate that with all the celebrations that's on this evening.
And well, I forgot to introduce my brother, but he is the backbone of the all-female band that we are. Maseve on the guitars. Yeah. And we have warriors for you.
love from Nagaland. I would love to see you all in Nagaland anytime, but a wonderful time to visit Nagaland is in December, first week, 1 to 10 of December, every year at Hornbill Festival, the festival of festivals, and we hope to see you there. Thank you, ET, for having us and for supporting women. Thank you.
Thank you for that spectacular performance, Mercy, Azi, Kuku, and Lulu. Thank you very much. That brings us almost to the end of today's award ceremony. I request all of tonight's winners and jury members to please come up on stage for a photo op. The rest of you, please enjoy dinner and cocktails. Jury members and winners, please come onto stage. Just give them a minute to clear the mics. Yes, with your awards, so we have a nice photo op. Event team, can we clear all the mics from stage? Winners, please come up on stage with your trophies. Jury members, please come up on stage. Just be careful of the wires, don't trip. For everybody else, dinner and cocktails await you. We'll see you next year, same time, same place. Can we have the stage lights on, please? Thank you. Yes, I do believe the stage is almost clear. Winners and jury members, can we have you up on stage? Congrats, winners. Thank you, jury members. Amit Chandra, are you in the room? You're being called on stage. If you're here. So special word of thanks to Rekha Menon for pushing ET to pull off this award, to put this award together in the first place. She's the real driving force behind the ETPrime Women Leadership Award. Paparazzi, look everywhere. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Congrats, winners. Thank you, jury members. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.